Brothers, in my last video, I said something that unsettled some people. I said January 1st is the fake New Year. Not to provoke, not to rebel, but because once a man starts thinking for himself, he begins to see how deeply conditioned we really are. January 1 is not a natural beginning. It's not a spiritual or a biological beginning. It is administrative, brothers. And here in Australia, that truth is impossible to ignore. January is summer. The sun is high. Life is already in full expression. Nothing is beginning. Everything is already moving. Just like the water in the background there, brothers. Yet men are told right here to reset their lives, to reinvent themselves, to become new. And when it doesn't work, they think the problem is them. It isn't, brothers. It's not you. It's timing and it's history. Because for most of human civilization, the new year did not begin in January. The earliest known New Year celebrations come from ancient Mesopotamia, over 4,000 years ago. The Babylonians began their year at the spring equinox around March. They called it the festival Akatu. It lasted 11 days. It honored balance, creation, order, and renewal. This was not symbolic. It was agricultural. It was astronomical. It was spiritual, brothers. Spring meant the soil softened, seeds could be planted, and life returned. The new year began when life began. The ancient Persians did the same. They celebrated Nowruz, still celebrated today at the spring equinox. It marked rebirth, renewal, and the victory of light over darkness. The ancient Egyptians aligned their year not to an arbitrary date, but to the rising of the star Sirius, the brightest in the sky. When the waters came, fertility followed, life followed. The Greeks tied their calendars to lunar and seasonal cycles. The Celts aligned their year with the land and the agricultural wheel. Across cultures, across continents, the truth was shared. The year began when nature said it began. Even Rome originally understood this. The earliest Roman calendar had 10 months, not 12, and the year began in March. March was named after Mars, not just the god of war, but the god of vitality, action, and renewal. That is why September, October, November, and December still carry numerical names. They were originally the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th months. Winter was not counted at all. It was a liminal space, a void, a time of reset, rest, death, and waiting. This wasn't primitive thinking, it was alignment. But alignment does not serve empires. In 153 BC, the Roman Senate made a decision that changed everything. They moved the start of the civil year to January 1. Not because of nature, not because of the earth, not because of God, but because new consuls took office that day. The calendar was no longer about life. It became about governance. January was named after Janus, Janus, the two-faced god of doors, gates, and transitions. A god who looks backward, not forward. A god of thresholds, not a god of rebirth. A god of control over beginnings and endings. When you control the beginning, you control the story, brothers. In 46 BCE, Julius Caesar reformed the calendar again, creating the Julian calendar. This aligned the year more accurately with the solar cycle, but January 1 remained locked in as the beginning. And as Rome expanded, its calendar expanded with it. Time became standardized, brothers, just because someone decided. That someone being Julius Caesar. It detached people from the land. After the fall of Rome, the confusion continued. For centuries, there was no single new year. In medieval Europe, some regions began the year on March 25th, the feast of the Immunication. Others began it on Easter, a movable date. Some began it on December 25th. January 1 was not dominant. It was not sacred. It was contested. It wasn't until 1582 when Pope Gregory VIII introduced the Gregorian calendar that January 1 was officially standardized again. And even then, many countries resisted. Some didn't adopt it for centuries. But eventually, through colonialization, trade, banking, industry, and global systems, January 1 became normalized again. Not because it was true, but because it was useful, brothers. And this is where the deeper issue emerges. We don't just live by a false calendar, brothers. We live inside systems built by institutions and corporations that benefit when men forget who they are. They don't need to enslave men physically. They just need to distract them, to dictate rhythm, identity, and purpose. When you tell a man when the year begins, you tell him when he should change, when he's behind, when he's failing. And most men today are unhappy, not because they are broken, but because they are living lives designed by others. They are living by borrowed beliefs, borrowed timelines, borrowed definitions of success. And that brings us to identity. Today, someone said to me how sad it was that there were graves with no names on the headstones. And I said something that stopped him dead in his tracks. I said, we were born without names. Our names are given to us by our parents. And Scripture speaks directly to this. In Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, God says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Known before birth, before a name, before a role, before identity was assigned. In Isaiah chapter 43, verse 1, it says, I have called you by name. You are mine. And in Revelation chapter 2, verse 17, it says, to the one who overcomes, I will give a new name, written, known only to the one who receives it. A name not given by parents, not printed on documents, not used by systems. A name known between you and God. Yet men attach their entire identity to a label they were handed before they could even speak. Brothers, stop living in a fake reality. They spend their lives trying to live up to it, protect it, prove it. And when identity is false, everything built on top of it cracks. Mental clarity disappears. Physical strength becomes punishment. Financial pursuit becomes endless. Relationships lack presence. Spiritual connection fades. This is why we teach the 7 pillars inside the Freedom Brotherhood, not as performance, but as return to yourselves, brothers. Mental truth, physical alignment, financial purpose, relational leadership, spiritual grounding, clear purpose, and enduring legacy. God did not create men to be obedient consumers. He created men to be builders, leaders, protectors, and stewards. But you cannot live that life if you don't know who you are, brothers, or what season you're in. January 1 tells men to begin without letting anything die. Nature never does that, and neither does God. There is a season for death, a season for rebirth, a season for action, and a season for harvest. The real new year is not a date. It is the moment a man stops outsourcing his life. The moment he stops living by borrowed calendars, borrowed identities, and borrowed expectations, and starts living from the name God knows him by, who he truly is. That is awakening, brothers. That is alignment. And that is the only new year that ever mattered. Rise up, brothers. Stand tall and own your life. Stop living by fake identities on a fake timeline. Realize who you are. Calibrate that inner compass. Create the life that you truly desire by your own design, brothers. And if you're not sure how to do that, the Freedom Brotherhood is here for you, guiding men physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, relationally, to create the best life that they have only ever dreamed of.